Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Sun shining, isn't it?
Yeah. I
Bank
will
holiday weekend.
apologise up front if I sneeze. My hay fever's terrible.
Ah, okay, not a problem at all. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining to another HubSpot masterclass. Um, and today we have our head of operations, Charlotte Thornton, so a new host. How's it feel?
Yeah, great. I'm excited to get stuck in.
Excited to get stuck in. Yeah, brilliant. Today we're focusing on a bit of a hidden secret, I would say, in HubSpot. Not many people know that you can build your own website in HubSpot. Okay. Their website platform with HubSpot, it makes and helps businesses of all sizes have an easy to manage website. I think
Hmm.
that's really important to say. That's deeply connected with your marketing, your CRM, and obviously sales strategy as well. So today we've got lots to go through. Charlotte's going to be showing us all about how to build website pages, talk about blogs, A/B testing, forms. There's quite a lot, isn't there, this
Yeah,
morning?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. So if you are a business owner or a marketer who is frustrated with long development times, website changes that take a long time to make, having lots and lots of tools that are all separate that you have to kind of check all the time, or struggle to track visitor behavior as well, then this is going to be perfect for you as well. So,
Mm.
um, as always with our webinars, start off with a little bit of housekeeping. Um, the plan for today is we're going to finish around about 11 o'clock, so about 30 minutes this morning. Charlotte's going to go through all about the website platform shortly. Um, the, we are going to stick around afterwards, so if you do have any questions that arise, and with a relatively new platform, some may be using it, may not be. You might have lots of them. Feel free to put them in the chat, and we will try and answer them as we go. If we don't get round to it, if we're just looking at time constraints, both myself and Charlotte will stick around for probably 10, 15 minutes afterwards to make sure that every question that is asked today is answered. Okay. So I want to just check first of all that the chat is live. So, very quick question to everybody this morning: that um, what is your website built in currently? I think that will give us a good spread and
Yeah,
idea of what businesses are using currently. We got here then
Gento.
Magento, WordPress, Magento, WordPress, WordPress. Ba, ba, ba. Port
Unsure.
onshore. That's fine. Building one soon. Hi Edward, I
Nice.
met you the other day. Okay, so good little
Squarespace.
spread.
Good mix there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few people that have HubSpot websites also. Brilliant. Um, so for those that don't know, at JDR, we are a very established marketing agency, um, over 20 years now. Okay, where we're working with small to medium-sized businesses, helping them to increase their website visitors, increase their leads, increase their sales ultimately. Our background, we started as a business coaching company originally. We've been using HubSpot in our own business. I've used it probably every day for the past 12, 13 years now. We've been HubSpot partners for over 10, and we've been elite partners for just over 2 years now. There's three ways in which we primarily help our clients. Um, First of all, is HubSpot set up onboarding and implementation. So some of you may have already worked with us previously on that, whether if you've purchased HubSpot and you want to get the most out of it. As an agency, we help set up your HubSpot account and get it working the way it was designed to and the way that you want it to as well. We also provide HubSpot training and consultancy. So for businesses that are using it also, then we can help get the most out of it. My colleague Emma, who's been on previous webinars, if you've attended them, will do lots of workshops and really work to get you the best platform, get the platform working as best as it can be for you. But our day to day is we are an inbound marketing agency. So we are an outsourced marketing department for small to medium sized businesses. Okay, whether that's helping you with your SEO, whether it's your pay-per-click, your social media, your content creation, we have all of the resources in-house. So not only can we help create your strategy, we have the resources in-house to execute it. Okay, and what you can see in the middle here is Charlotte. Okay, she has been involved in website projects for how long now? Have you
Nearly
been doing
6 years, yeah.
6 years? Okay, building websites in all sorts of different platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you would like to explore how we can help or help put together a website for you in HubSpot, okay, then what I'll do is I will put a link to my diary in the chat. Okay, I am on holiday next week, so you can't book in next week. But first week in June, I'll be there ready to meet you, discuss your website needs, and we can have a conversation about how we can help. So I'm going to finish there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about ourselves this morning, but if you would like to have that conversation, I will pop that link in the chat now. And I'm going to hand over to Charlotte, who's going to
Fab.
dive straight in,
Lovely. Thank
talk
you
about
very much.
websites.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see that all right?
Yes, perfect.
Fabulous. Okay, so today we're going to be running through different features in the Content Hub. So if you aren't already aware, HubSpot has different hubs that covers different features and tools, and we are going to be focusing on Content Hub. Now there's a magnitude of features inside Content Hub, and we're only going to be going through the ones really that are website focused. There are also other great tools as well that I'm not going to cover today too. So what we'll go through today, I'm going to do a brief overview of HubSpot versus WordPress. We picked WordPress because that is one of the most common platforms, but I will also try and compare it to others that were mentioned in the chat as well. The different features that you can access in Content Hub depending on the package you've got. So with HubSpot, again, you have different package tiers, so it's free, starter or pro, so what features you get depending on your package. How you can set a website up in HubSpot, because there's a different routes you can go down there. And then I'm going to dive into each of these features: website pages, blog, landing pages, A/B testing, smart content and forms. And I'll do a little bit of a live demo on how to use each of those tools and get the most out of it. So starting off then, HubSpot versus WordPress. Now we used to actually build all of our websites on WordPress up until about 3 or 4 years ago. That's what we were building them all on, and we've also built a lot on Magento, OpenCart. We build on Shopify as well, so many different platforms. And I just want to cover the main differences between them. So HubSpot has a drag and drop editor, which I'll show you today, where you can simply drag and drop your content into the page, and it means you have a lot more creativity there in terms of editing. With WordPress, it depends how your WordPress website's built. Some of them is purely code, some do have a bit more of a drag and drop, but often you do need some more coding knowledge, and the editor is quite rigid. Things break a little bit easier, so it can make it harder, especially for marketing teams, to edit the website and get the most out of it. Another difference is HubSpot is cloud-based and WordPress is server-based. Now, other platforms that are server-based are also Magento is on a server, OpenCart, platforms like that, whereas HubSpot is cloud-based, meaning it is a lot more secure. Now, there was a worldwide WordPress hack a few years ago that hit a lot of our clients' websites that we couldn't save, and it was a nightmare. And you can do a lot to try and prevent it, but there's a lot of hacking attempts on WordPress that we see day to day. So HubSpot does just give you that extra blanket of security.
Yeah, I've spoke to about 3 or 4 businesses this week who've had their websites hacked in the last 6 months as well,
Yeah.
all built in WordPress also.
Yeah.
So it's still common today.
Yeah, and as soon as that happens, Google knows, and it also hits your rankings as well. And it's not just your website that then suffers, it's also your rankings. So yeah, that is a big downside. Next one is, I would say, maintenance and rebuilds. So we would find with WordPress websites, there's a lot more maintenance because they are on a server. You need a developer there constantly fixing the code, maintaining it so it grows over the years. And you typically would have to rebuild a website on WordPress every five years, just because the coding becomes outdated and it has to be redone. Whereas with HubSpot, we've not had to rebuild anyone yet, and it can just grow with your business, because you can just edit and adjust those things where needed along the lines. Next is working with your CRM. So if you're already using HubSpot as your CRM, you're managing your marketing, your sales, you might have other hubs inside of HubSpot. If you have your website inside of HubSpot as well, it will then work seamlessly with the whole CRM. And I'll touch on that a little bit more later. Whereas with WordPress, WordPress isn't a CRM, it is purely just a content management system. So if you want to integrate it with a CRM, say you're using HubSpot or other CRMs out there, it is a little bit harder to integrate them together and to get them working hand in hand. Next one is controlled, where they're controlled and maintained. So unless you host your WordPress website or Magento website in-house, which most people don't do, you have to pay an external website company either monthly or yearly to host it on a server. And also you can sometimes end up paying them for any updates. So if you want to add a page to your website, we find this a lot. People get frustrated that you have to pay your website hosting company every time you want to make an edit. How we set HubSpot websites up is that they can be controlled and maintained in-house. With every HubSpot website we've built, we give people the option of, you can pay JDR for support packages if you want to, but most people don't do that because we train you on how to use it yourselves. It's that easy. Next one is in terms of Google. So the way a website is set up, Google understands how all of that works, and it has preferences over how things are built. And HubSpot is set up really to be perfect in Google's eyes, and you tend to get better rankings. We've moved quite a few sites over from Squarespace, Magento, other different platforms, and as soon as we've moved it to HubSpot, we've seen an increase in rankings. It's not day and night, but it does have an impact. And then lastly, ease of marketing implementation. So if you are either managing marketing yourselves or you have an in-house marketing department, it just makes it a lot easier to implement marketing strategies and campaigns in HubSpot. And I think once I dive into the demo, you'll see why as well. So I'd say they're the main comparisons. Some similarities here between Magento as well and other platforms like Squarespace, but WordPress is the most common, like I said. So there's different features inside HubSpot that you get depending on your package. So with free, obviously you pay nothing. You get 30 website pages and 30 landing pages. However, you have HubSpot branding all over it. So you do get access to different features, but there will be that HubSpot color and logo on it. The favicon is not customizable. That is the little logo that you see up here on a tab. So that will be a HubSpot favicon, and you do get a basic blog. With Starter, you get very similar, but all that HubSpot branding has disappeared. So you get 30 web pages and landing pages, but it's fully customized to your business and your branding. You do get one blog, and you also get the AI image generator as well, which is a new feature inside HubSpot to create images on your site. And then with Pro, you get up to 10,000 website pages, up to 10,000 landing pages, which is a huge website if you do have that many pages. But you get a lot more. I would say the main features is A/B testing and smart content, which I will show you today, what those features give you. And they're just incredible what they can do to leverage your marketing and make data-driven decisions within your marketing. So I'll show you that a little bit later on. You get more advanced SEO recommendations. So HubSpot will tell you everything you need to fix in terms of SEO. You don't have to be an SEO expert to then read those and help resolve them. HubSpot really helps you out there. And you can then also have more than one blog as well. So again, I'll show you how that works with JDR because we are on Pro. But yeah, that's just some of the different features you get there in the different packages.
I just point out as well is a lot of businesses will have some form, like I just use the starter as an example, is a lot of businesses will actually have the Content Hub starter. And if you have the starter bundle at
Mm.
all, you get this already. So you're already paying for a website platform potentially. So if your website is under 30 pages and it's built in WordPress or something like that, moving to HubSpot would be a definite consideration because you're going to save yourself a significant amount of money because you're paying for the tool already.
Yeah. So how you can set a website up in HubSpot, there's a couple of different options. So you have bespoke or you have themes. So bespoke is where you do a custom website design, and we can provide this. We used to build them all like this. So you would create a website design that might be in Photoshop or things like that, where a designer would design the website and it would be completely customized. That design that then gets given to developers to then code that design inside of HubSpot. It typically takes a lot longer because there's a lot more tailoring, customized coding and things like that. And it is also a larger investment because as soon as you bring a developer into the mix to code a website for you, it is more expensive. But if you are, I would say this is great if you're really particular on how you want the website to look in a certain way. But saying that, we've been building sites using themes for years now, and we haven't really often had many cases where you haven't been able to use a theme to create something that you're really happy with. So the difference with a theme is that they're ready to purchase from the HubSpot marketplace. So a theme gives you like a set of drag and drop sections, which I'll show you a little bit more later on, but you can go through the HubSpot marketplace and see what themes are there and then install it into your HubSpot account. Some of them are free. I wouldn't recommend the free ones because they tend to not be very editable. They tend to not be built very well for Google. There's a couple of themes that we've used many times that we know works really well in those areas. It's not a template. So if you've used WordPress templates in the past, or I know Squarespace has templates, Wix also has templates and things like that. Templates are very rigid and you just have to fill what's there and you can't move things around or adjust it. A theme is not that. There's a lot of customization that you can do, and I'll show you that a little bit more. Themes make the projects quicker and it's often more cost effective as well because the heavy lifting is done for you. You're not having to code all of the sections, which often increases the cost and makes the project longer as well. So I'll just show you the themes here. So this is the HubSpot theme marketplace. If you just Google it, you'll find this, and there's a lot of themes here that you can pick from. Now you'll see a lot of them here are free. I would always go with a paid one. One we've used the most is Act 3 here. If I dive into it, it will show you here all of the different kind of sections that you will get. But if I just go down here, these are examples of websites that have been built using this theme. So you can see that all of these websites look completely different. If this was a template, they would all look the same, but with different colors and content. But there's so much customization that you can do. Like I said, it just gives you the sections to be able to create this. So let's dive into each of the areas then. So I'm going to start with website pages and how you can edit those. So like I said, you've got a drag and drop and no coding. There's built-in security, and there's also free modules that you can install. So if you already have your website on HubSpot, you might not be aware of this, but there's free modules in the marketplace that you can install to enhance your website. So I'll dive into that. So this is the JDR current website. This was built around 4 years ago on HubSpot. It's the first ever website we built on HubSpot because we always do it for ourselves before we do it for anyone else. And there's a lot of sections on the side here that you can drag in. So I'll just quickly show you. So if you're wanting to add some text in here to your page, maybe you want to make the background either an image in the background, or you can do a color, a gradient. So if I want this to go from blue to blue, I can do it from left to right.
It's not on
Change
brand,
the
Charlotte.
text. No, it's not. Well, they are our brand colors, but we wouldn't typically do that. Add my text here. You can simply do that. Change the color of the text. Now, say I want to drag an image in to the side, drag your image, select what image you want to display. We'll pick Taryn here, one of our team members. You can do so many different things. There's also video modules that you can drag in. This comes as standard with any HubSpot website, all of these sections that I'm showing you here. I'll select a HubSpot video, browse through our video files. That's a webinar, I think.
Yeah, one of
We'll
the
pop that one
previous
in
ones.
there. Pop that video in there. You can also change the size of how big that displays. But yeah, you can see this whole page has been created with this drag and drop. If I want to put that image there, I can move that here. If I want to drag this whole section down here, I can do that and move that here. There's Andy.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah. So it's so easy to do. This is the meeting calendar, which is also part of the HubSpot website as well. You can set up these calendars and embed them on your website. If I want to put a form in, just search for the form modules, drag that in. Select the form that you want to display. I'll select our masterclass form here that a lot of you will have filled in to sign up to this webinar. If I go down, I've now got my form there. So the drag and drop really allows you to build these pages from scratch, make them look exactly how you want them to look, and really elevate the designs of your website. So that's one of the main benefits there of HubSpot. You
And as
also,
soon as you press update, it goes live.
yeah, I won't do that because I've just
No, yeah,
absolutely
obviously.
ruined this page. But yeah, you click update and it's live. And other features you've also got up here, your version history. So I can see over however many days when this page was edited, who it was edited by. If you want to go back and restore that old version, you just click restore and it will revert the page back to how it looked on that date. In your settings, you can easily add your SEO, so your meta title, your URL, metadata, things like that. You've also got the preview up here, which allows you to view it in different devices. So you can then view how that looks in mobile. And it's also worth saying that HubSpot will automatically make the website look good in mobile. There might be some tweaks you need to do, but you can see I've just made this section, and if I view it on mobile, it already looks okay. Whereas that can be a lot harder in platforms like Magento or WordPress, where you're needing to use code. You can then view it on iPad and also laptop as well. So I'd say they're the main features there in terms of the website pages. Diving into the blogs then, so HubSpot has a dedicated area for your blog content. So I'm just in the blog area here of JDR, and I haven't gone into this navigation bar, but you'd have website pages, landing pages, blog here. These are all the other tools that you can get inside Content Hub, which I'm not going to cover today, but inside the blog, You can then have all of your blog articles. So if you're posting news articles or just content within your industry, you can have a dedicated place to do that. And it works really similar to the website editor that I just showed you. So you can go into your blogs. You can have a sidebar as well here with topics, latest articles, a subscribe form where people can then subscribe to your blog and get updates through HubSpot. And obviously here's all of your blog content that you can also add call to actions. This is a long one, a call to action at the bottom to then try and grab leads at the end. So all of that can be controlled in one place. Now, if you do have HubSpot Pro, you can have multiple blogs. So if I go in here, we've got a case studies one, an events one, and then our general blog. So you can have multiple and then display all of your case studies in a different area and things like that.
Barrett has just asked why you're on this, Charlotte. Are the themes expensive? Obviously, as a small business, cost plays a big part, which is he's currently using the free version at the moment.
There's a very different price range in the themes. You've obviously got free ones, which are free, and you can do some basic things with them. I would say Act 3, from our experience, has been the best, and that's $500. There's some that go 1,000 plus. So there's some really cheap, more expensive, mid-range. I would say Act 3, you're going to get the most for your money.
Is that a one-off payment, an annual payment?
One-off payment.
One-off payment. There you go. See.
Yeah. So diving back into here then, so that's your blog area, and then similar to that, you also have a dedicated area for your landing pages. Now, people use the word landing pages differently. So our term for landing pages is a page where you want to capture someone's details. Sometimes people call their website homepage a landing page. When we refer to landing pages, it's a page where we want somebody to convert and either fill something in to get something. So again, you have a landing page area, and this is a dedicated area for all of your offers. So I'm actually going to use this masterclass as an example. So this was the landing page that we made for this webinar today. You notice that the top navigation is gone, so people have two options: fill the form in or leave the page. You've got your form that you can add here and various other content, but the idea is that these pages are there to gather leads. So you have a dedicated area within HubSpot where you can create those pages, and they're your lead magnets essentially. I will cover the free modules as well because I skipped past those on the website pages, but let me just go back a couple of steps. So say on your HubSpot website you wanted to add a FAQ accordion that has your frequently asked questions, and you don't want to pay for a developer to code that module. You can go to the free marketplace up here. So if you go to the marketplace, go to templates, and then go to, instead of themes, which is what I was showing a minute ago, go to modules, and these are all of the modules. If I type in a core accordion, these are the different accordions that you have access to.
What's an accordion?
Accordion is like the FAQs that open and close. If I just show you, this is the new JDR website, which is top secret, but oh, it's not
Everyone's
on
getting
here.
a sneak peek.
A sneak peek, yeah. So this, our new website's being built on the Act 3 theme that I was showing a moment ago. An accordion, if I drag it in, it's like this. So you can
Okay,
pop your questions on and they'll open and close. But there's so many different
understood.
things. If you wanted a gallery, you can search that, and then there's different galleries. Some of them are paid ones, but you also have free modules as well. If you liked the look of this module and how it looked on the page, you can just install that, click install, go to your website pages, and when you search up here, that would then appear basically. So you can then go and install as many free modules as want. You can then start dragging those into your website pages and using them in your website. Lovely. I'll just touch on A/B testing. So this is a feature inside of Pro that allows you to split test your pages. So I'll just give you an example here. This is one of our JDR website pages about digital marketing for construction businesses. Now, when people are creating website pages, you kind of have to do it based on opinion and what you think works, unless you have the data to tell you otherwise. What A/B testing allows you to do is test your page side by side to see what performs better. So we've got this page here that we made, and you can see up here you've got version A and version B. So if you go to B, the page will be different. So you could completely change the page to be entirely different, or you could just change a heading and an image and things like that. HubSpot will then show you what is working better. So 50% of your visitors to this page would see version A, and the other 50% would see version B. HubSpot will then tell you how many people are interacting on A versus B, how many people are converting on A versus B. You can run that test inside of HubSpot and then eventually pick the winner depending on which page is performing better. So it just allows you to make more educated decisions when you're editing your website pages and not doing any guesswork. Just aware of time, Andy. Shall I
No, yeah, I appreciate
crack
that.
on?
So if anyone does have to go at 11 o'clock, then feel free to do so. Thank you very much for attending. We're going to stick around and just finish off everything. We're on top of all the questions and stuff. So if everyone's okay to stick around, we're going to carry on
Great.
to go through.
Lovely. So that's A/B testing there. So if you have Content Pro, you can A/B test your website pages, your landing pages. There's other things you can A/B test as well, but it allows marketing teams to make better decisions on your website. Next, I'm going to show smart content, and similar to A/B testing, this is only accessible in the Pro version, but this allows you to tailor things on your website to different target audiences or different people that might be viewing the website. And let me show you how this works. So I have this page here. If you click on any of these sections, so I'm going to click this image here, you'll have this option here that says Smart Rules. If you click Add, you can then select from these different things. Now, it depends how you use HubSpot, whether you have these things set up. So say you're using the life cycle stages in HubSpot, you can then tailor this image depending on people in those life cycle stages. If you're not using HubSpot in that way, then you can't use that feature. But there's other things like country, device type, where they came from, and preferred language and things like that. I'm just going to do it on device type. So if I click that and then add a rule, I can then choose from mobile, tablet, or desktop. I'm going to click mobile and then save. What that does is then allows me to edit this image to be different on desktop and different for mobile. So you'll see up here I'm editing for mobile. So if I now change this image, or use Taran again here, that will then show on mobile. If I go to the default, it will then show me the image that I had before, and that would then show on tablet and desktop. The way that this is most useful is when you're wanting to tailor your messages to different people. So if I change this text here, add a rule. So if you want to do this depending on where people came from, you can tailor the message for people that came to your website from social media, or if people came from Google, they can see different messages. What we did before with a company we worked with, they had two sides of the business. They made medicine for animals. One side of the business was selling to vets that would then sell the products on in um,
Surgeries.
the surgeries, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
They would sell it on. And the other side of their business was they were targeting people that had pets and wanted to opt them into their studies. So what we did was completely tailored the content on the website depending on where those two audiences. So if you came on the website and you were a vet, you would see completely different wording to someone that came on and was just a dog owner. The wording would be completely different. That takes a bit of setting up, but that's something that we did do with the business, and it's completely transformed how they gather leads and get conversions on their website. So it's really powerful when used in the right way.
Yeah, Jason just I was on that. Jason just mentioned about significant differences when you're A/B testing. So if you're directing a customer to some information on one of your web pages, they may get there but not see the information that you have directed them to see ultimately. So
Yeah.
if you're changing things, it has to be relevant to the links that it's been driven to as well. So very good point there, Jason.
Yeah, of course. And you have control over what version A and B shows.
Mm.
So depending on what the content is, you can have consistencies or differences where applicable. So that's smart content, a really great tool that not a lot of people know
Yes.
about. And lastly, I'll just touch on forms. Now, forms is part of the marketing hub, but a lot of people ask about forms in relation to websites because obviously, ultimately, they'll be embedded on your website. The benefits of forms inside of HubSpot is that they can be controlled in here and then directly embedded onto your website page. So you saw earlier that I dragged in a form section and I selected the HubSpot Masterclass form here. So that form is now showing on this website page. You can edit these forms to have whatever you want to gather, basically. So HubSpot give you many fields here that you can drag in. So say you wanted to collect what city they're in, you can just drag that into your form. If you wanted something completely unique, you can put, I'm going to use the date field here. What is your birthday? Don't know why you'd want to gather that, but you could create that and that can then be a field on your form. You can drag these around so they're side by side and completely customize the form to gather the information that you want to get. If I then click update here, that would then automatically change the form here on my website page. The beauty of this is that your website, your forms and your leads are all controlled in one place. So you're dragging your form onto your website page, someone's filling it in, that's going into your HubSpot CRM. You can then control all of these different functions in HubSpot. Yeah, they're the main things I wanted to cover. So unless there's any questions or other features.
Yeah, it's been there's a lot to go through there. You
Yeah,
covered a lot in a relatively short space of time. So I think it was really, really good overview of the tool and the platform. If anybody does have any questions at all, then feel free to pop them in the chat now, and we'll try and cover them. But otherwise, obviously, we appreciate we've overrun a little bit this morning. So if you have to go, you have to go. This session is being recorded, so you will all be sent a recording of this when it finishes processing. It'll get automatically sent in the next day or so. But yeah, thank you for joining me this morning, Charlotte. We
thanks for
went
having
through a
me.
lot, and hopefully look to see you again soon. Oh, very quickly, actually, before I was about to wrap up, Philip has asked, he finds it difficult to format text. How do I stop HubSpot putting in its own format?
Okay, interesting. What I think you might be experiencing there is if I drag in a rich section here, this will automatically apply the formatting that you've set your website to format your text as. If you just edit this directly, it won't change the formatting. If you're copying and pasting text from a different browser or from a Word document or an email and paste that in here, it can then change the format. What I'd recommend you do is you can paste as plain text. So rather than just hitting paste, if you click plain text, it should then not copy over that strange formatting. I think that might be what you're experiencing.
Dan has just asked, do you need to add starter for all modules or just Content Hub to remove the branding?
Just do you need to add starter for all modules or just Content Hub to remove the branding? So you need starter to be able to remove the branding. With free starter or pro, you will get the standard modules like the image module, the rich text, form, video, and things like that. But to remove the branding, you need starter.
I think what Dan's asking, I can probably answer is, do we need marketing, sales? Do you need all the starter module? You know, like all the hubs
Ah,
essentially. Okay,
no,
which you don't. You can just use as long as you've
content.
got HubSpot Content Hub Starter, then that will remove all the HubSpot branding. And if you're upgrading to Starter, do you still lose some of the quotas, including the early adopted free HubSpot?
No, no. So if you upgrade, you won't lose anything. It would just allow you to make the things you've already got more advanced. So you won't lose any content or things you've created if you upgrade.
Hopefully, that covers everything. I think. No problem. Brilliant. Well, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Okay. Apologies, we overran a little bit slightly, but I
Mm.
think it was all worthwhile in the end. As I say, it is being recorded. I'll be back next month. Unfortunately, not with Charlotte, but because Emma's back with me. We're going to go through um, templates, snippets, a really underutilized tool in HubSpot. So excited to all see you next time. But yeah, thanks very much for your time today, and